Alright, we are recording, continuing in Just Cause 2. This has been a productive week for me. Unfortunately, I can't talk about all of this stuff. I mean, I can, because I don't know when any of that'll be ready. I should, for that reason. There's probably some more stuff than I have noted here, because I only have 3 things on my list. One is rumor, I think it technically is. I've not seen it too much, but once again, because I know it's happened before, and not even all that long ago, there were rumors about, I want to grab this so much.
Is that Scorpio?
That Ubisoft, there might be some groups trying to purchase Ubisoft, which I remember seeing stuff a year or two ago. Rumors to that effect as well. I don't know. There have been rumors about it before, but I think the last time that such moves were made, the Guillemot brothers? Is that how you pronounce the name? I don't remember, but Ubisoft was actually formed by a family. I think it was 3 or 4 brothers that formed it, and 1 or 2 of them is actually still involved. But I remember last time they did things to basically buy up more of their own stock, buy more stock up of Ubisoft so that they could prevent such a takeover. So yeah, I don't know if this latest rumor is going to come to anything. There's a part of me I hope it's not, because while yeah, Ubisoft doesn't always hit on the head, they, at least my impression from over the years, they do try to be innovative with their stuff. I know some of you might be thinking, excuse me, what? They set such a standard for how open world games are that they then continuously kept to. It's like, all right, yeah, that's true. But it's also, don't forget, when they saw that the Assassin's Creed franchise was getting too dull and repetitive, we got Assassin's Creed Origins, Odyssey, and then Valhalla, each of which are very good games, so that they can course correct. But it's also, I mean, it's like, you look at, I know this may sound weird, but you look at Nintendo. Nintendo is a fairly innovative company with their console. I'm thinking about it. They came out with the Wii, and then what ends up happening? Microsoft and Sony both end up having to come up with their own answer to motion controls. And Ubisoft was a company that they, like, almost immediately, it seemed, started trying to take advantage of that technology, of the motion control stuff, with the Wii U and with the Switch. Again, they immediately started having some games to take advantage of that. You can't say that of as many other developers or publishers. So, I mean, true, it could just be they have a close relationship with Nintendo. But it still seems like they're willing to take those chances. So I just hope that if it ends up turning out that they do get acquired, that spirit is not lost. Who knows, it could even be enabled. That can happen too. I think I cleared, yeah, this, this airstrip here, yeah, just pop. Yeah, now I'm just thinking about, because I mean, it's also, I don't really care so much for the Tom Clancy type, well, some of them, the Rainbow Six stuff, that doesn't do anything for me. I'm not a multiplayer kind of guy, but I did enjoy Splinter Cell Blacklist when I played that, which unfortunately I can't replay. That is one of the, well, no, I could, I would just have to do it on a test system. That's one of the games that, if it sees you have 16 cores, it won't launch. So I can't play it on the desktop. There's some others. The Stanley Parable is one, but I assume this new Stanley Parable, the remastered. Is that what they're calling it? No, the remake? I don't remember what they're calling it. But the original also suffers from that. So, hopefully this new version doesn't. I haven't picked it up yet, but I do want to. I put it on my wish. Red Faction Armageddon is another example. That's probably never going to get an update or be remade. Hopefully Red Faction is resurrected by, yeah, Deep Silver got that. It had gone to THQ Nordic, but I think I did see something, and then forgot, and saw it again, forgot again, that it did actually move back to Deep Silver, since Deep Silver is now also owned by Embracer Group, which owns THQ Nordic. And, yeah. I think I cleared this one too. Yeah, I did. Okay. Man, I went kind of far towards this. Didn't go all the way. Yeah, and now I'm just thinking. I mean, I enjoyed Ghost Recon Breakpoint, but it is. I will grant, because I had seen criticisms of it, and I started playing it after that one major update that changed some things that I think addressed some of those criticisms. But also, that's the update that added Vulkan support. But I want to mention those criticisms because I knew some of them. I had heard of some of them. But when playing them, it seemed like they had... even though I didn't experience them beforehand, it did seem like they did in fact address them. Which is kind of significant. That you know, any company would bother with doing that. I mean, sure, it's a significant title and all that, but there's other companies that would be like, no, we just, best of a bad situation, as opposed to let's actually try to change this. Oh, I'm getting in trouble for this, but needs to be done. And I don't see anything else here to blow up.
On their way.
I do see that there's a helicopter coming up. If I can evade them, then I can just land and... how did I kill my lead? But then I can hopefully just land and start picking stuff up. Nope, they spot... Oh, yeah, they did. Nope. There it goes. Wow, it could really, actually start ticking down that thing. I'm gonna try going higher. Oh, there it goes. What's the next thing I got? Oh yeah, the Dying Light 2 update that I haven't launched the game to go back and look at, but it adds a New Game Plus, which I remember when I originally played it for the review, that I wanted there to be a New Game Plus, and there wasn't. It's like, ah, man. So I'm definitely... Although I think even then it was acknowledged that it's like, yeah, that'll come with an update. So the fact that, that's finally out, I'm very happy to see that. I will be honest, though, I don't know if... Because I do want to replay the game. I don't know if I'd actually play it that way. I might... Well... It would depend. It would just depend on the situation. Like, if I had enough time... Which is not the case now. But if I had enough time to be like, yeah, I could just, spend the time to play through twice, and do once then New Game Plus, then I'd probably do that. But if it's like at some point it's just, I got the time, let me, I can play through it once more, then I'd probably just do New Game Plus. But it's just because I know that there are... I want to do it because I know there are some things I think are broken just because of when I played it prior to release. It happens. Not a big deal. But I do think that that's there, so a New Game Plus would address some of that. Actually, all of it should. But yeah, and it's just, you know... I really did enjoy that game. That's... Dying Light 2, very easy game. And that part of the New Game Plus is also enemies will scale to your level, which, yes, that is not how the base game was, and I felt that, and I appreciate that. And that's something oh well, I'm trying to remember. I'm certain I put it into the review. I'm just trying to remember how much time I may have spent talking about it during the playthrough. Because I like that it didn't constantly just have... It wasn't the norm for enemies to be scaled to your level. And I don't like that in games. And I have a reason why. Because I like that... I like the idea of you can go back to an area and, you know, have none of the enemies be a threat anymore. Well, not as significant. Because you invested the time ahead of you. You know, ahead of that, you know, after that, at higher levels, so now you can come back. I think that that's completely fair and appropriate. So the fact that the base experience does not do that, it does not level enemies up to you, so you can go back. I think that's a very good design decision. I really do. But that then the New Game Plus has it, and actually also at the very end of the game, once you beat it, it will scale enemies up to your level. I think that's perfect. I think that is completely fair and legitimate to do it that way. Where it's like, nope, at this point, because it's the end game stuff. It's, yeah, we can challenge you more here, because if you don't want to keep playing, you don't have to. You've already beaten it. And it's like, that, I think, is perfect. I think that's a perfect way to handle it. Outside of there being just, you know, an option to turn that on and off, which...
Here all the time.
I would actually be against that, to a degree. At least if it were just an option for having them scale to your level. If it were more just generic part of the hard difficulty, then I wouldn't have an issue with it, but I'd be too concerned otherwise of it, there we go. Of it impacting the experience too much. Because you do also balance the difficulty to control the experience. That is part of the design process. So it's not just how are we challenging you, it's how much frustration are we putting you through, how many easy victories do we let you have. That's all part of it. So to have it just scaling to you as a toggle on and off on its own, that could be very dangerous as far as disrupting the intended experience.
That was fun!
But also, it's not only scaling up, they also... I'm pretty sure they showed in the trailer for it that they added a new weapon level, gear level to it. So you can also get even better gear. So that's definitely... And there were also changes to the consoles, like adding an FOV slider, which... I mean, I don't care. I don't play on console, but... you know, of course, for console players, that is important. It's just, I'm not one of you, so... also have... fortunately, I didn't need to break my rule. Because I have certain rule with the Friday news write-up things that I don't want to just write up that, oh, a game released. Because it's like, I don't think that's necessarily... That doesn't necessarily matter that much. And same thing with the DLC, where it's like, a release is... Do we care that much? That just, oh, it released? There's an announcement of, hey, this is the last trailer ahead of that. This is the... Oh, this is dangerous. I'm still gonna do it. This is the release date. Things like that. you know, that I think is legitimate to do, but just the alright. But just hey, this released. No. So with Galactic Civilizations 4 releasing, it's like, I can't actually write that up. But fortunately, part of it was they shared Stardock shared the a roadmap for a tentative road. So it's like, hey, I can talk about that. And I actually also shared a roadmap for Sifu. Slowcap shared a roadmap for that game, which was funny. I needed to link to, because it was shared on Twitter. I need to link to that and looking at the comments. And there was somebody, and it's like, yeah, you're an idiot. Basically saying, I think I speak for everyone. You always know that's going to start off well. Because one of the things that they were adding is difficulty options for that game. I'm talking about the Sifu, not Galso 4. Sifu is... It's a roguelite... Roguelite? Whichever one. That is martial arts based, so it's definitely going to be something that I probably wouldn't enjoy that much, just because of the necessity to like do combos, to memorize moves, things like that. None of which I enjoy. Just sorry. But they're adding a difficulty option too. This one guy was like, I think I speak for everyone when I say that's a terrible thing to have and that you shouldn't do that. And fortunately, looking at the response to that, it was like, dude, you only are talking for yourself. This is good. Because, and some of them were saying it's good because that means I can turn it up to make it harder. And others were making them point that good because that means that people that, like me, who, I'm saying like, you know, me personally, like me that don't care for this kind of game, can turn it down and still enjoy the experience. You know, making it more approachable. And it was just like so funny. It's like, yeah, don't. Why that guy thought it would be a good idea to say that, I don't know. But it is, you know, kind of. Sifu would be one of those games where it's like the difficulty is in fact going to be important to the experience of that game. And I don't even know the game itself because I've not played it. But just you would want to be careful to make sure that you are in fact crafting the difficulty when you're doing design. But yeah, with Galso 4, Galactic Civilizations 4, I bought that game. I think I could. It's weird. It was like the first time that I could have requested a key or whatever. It's like I didn't get the press release for it, but it's like, that's fine. I still do enjoy, though I've not played it for a while. Galso 3, so it's like, you know what? I'm okay with buying it. Buying Galso 4. It also means I don't feel obligated to have to review it, which is also good because I'm kind of busy right now with other things I'm working on. But I do want to play it. I legitimately would spend this weekend playing it, but I've got other things I need to spend my time on because there's a lot of interesting stuff that they're changing. And there's going to be more stuff coming that they're making tweaks to. That the roadmap shared. And it's like, hey, because they shared this roadmap, I can talk about how, hey, this game also just came out. And now we have the roadmap for it. Well, came to 1.0. Huh. Whoa. Hello. Shit. Didn't realize that's what it was.
Going around. Move around.
Come on. Yeah, I didn't realize the kind of helicopter it was. There are two kinds of helicopters that they send in for reinforcements. One is what we just had, where it drops additional enemies for you to have to deal with. Oh, there we go. Perfect. And the other is more or less standard attack helicopter. Actually, hang on. Was there any?
You have located one of our precious ancestral skulls. Be most careful with it. There is powerful magic within.
I also will acknowledge, going back to Galaxy 4, I just, soft spot for space-based sports game. Nothing wrong with that. Right? Right? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Huh. Guessing there's more to destroy. Or it's up there. But, yeah, because there's nothing more to pick up. So, since I need more to talk about, I can talk some about what I've been doing this week. It's just, as I said, I have no idea when I'll be done and ready and all that. I changed out the cooler in the test system. Yep, this is part of it. Which also means then that there could be stuff to pick up.
Attack!
Yep, I see something to pick up right there. But, I have also, because of that then, been collecting thermal data. Thermal performance behavior. I first collected it with the box cooler. And both with Precision Boost Overdrive on it and off. Although I discovered I made a mistake and accidentally didn't record one of the things I meant to, and thought I did. Unfortunately, I got that data. I have old versions of that data. It's like, oh yeah, it's from months ago, so Windows updates are different, but I mean, nothing else is. So it's not that bad. If I have to use it. But I don't actually remember if I mentioned what it is that I got. A Be Quiet Dark Rock 4. And I also got a second fan for it. That comes with one fan. I've got a second that I will put on there, but I wanted to first collect data with only the one fan. So we'll see how it goes. You see how what kind of impact that makes. And already I can tell you, it has made such an impact. Not just because, oh, it's cooler, but it's so much quieter than the box cooler. The Wraith Prism is a good and competent cooler, don't get me wrong, but oh man, it's so nice to have it quieter, and not with RGB LEDs. I don't need it shining, I don't need it making... But in addition to all of that, I also have been working on, man, I'm looking forward to it going live. The frame rate performance analysis applet. I'm looking forward to that going live, but I'm also working on one for this thermal data as well, which is a lot simpler. But yeah, I'm working on that, so hopefully that'll I'll be able to have that go live.
Attack! Attack!
We'll just have to see. Oh, yeah. I mean... Stuff like this is where the other helicopter, I don't remember what it's called now, is where that would be better, because it's a lot more maneuverable. A little faster, too. Okay, the helicopter's fine.
Now, you pipeline jerks.
I see you there, but I'm just gonna go over you. Yeah, it's definitely neat. I think this, it's not gonna be as interesting as the graphics performance, but it's still, you know, being able to get specific values out of there, so, you know, any percentile you want, to know how much time was spent below any frequency, any temperature, and so on. I think that could be interesting for people. But as I said, I got no idea, because it's like, in theory, depending on how things go, I may be able to get all the data collected over the next week. It might be then like 2-3 months before I decide to actually write anything up. Okay, no, realistically, I wouldn't actually let myself take that long, but it is still possible, depending on what else comes up to take time. And hey, one thing neat, the graphite thermal pads that I wrote an article about however long ago, it's still nice. Sort of. There's a little bit more to it than that, but it still is nice, the whole, I don't need to worry about thermal paste. It is not all good news there, but it's, I think I even kind of predicted it actually in that article. And I'll just leave it at that. You know, yeah, it might be a while before you know what the hell it is I'm talking about, but you know, I think it's only fair to wait on that.
Some of the government goons are merely irritating, Sir Dadu, but some make my blood boil. This particular lieutenant, Sicko Gusti, has made it a point to mess with my business. So, I will stick him where it hurts most. His prize-winning car collection. I want you to destroy all of these cars that he holds so dear, just to spite the bastard.
I got a helicopter. I think I can make this happen.
And put tears in his eyes. 1 down and 2 to go. Excellent work, Scorpio. Good, Sedadu. Only 1 left now.
Alright. I'm just trying to decide where I may want to go. Let's head south. At least pick up what this stuff is on the map. Oh, I could talk about that too. Good old, sorry, GOG is holding a Good Old Games sale. Well, it's actually more than a week. It goes until May 9th. So that's basically, you know, various of the more classic games, the ones that have earned their GOG tag, are undiscounted. I actually picked up a couple that are from, you know, my childhood. And also, I got a email for, you know, unique code kind of thing for Star Wars games, since they're also doing a May the 4th sale, because everyone does that. Yeah. And I decided, you know what, at $2.50, yeah, I'll pick up that game. Actually, I have a lot of the classic Star Wars games already. But, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, my brother had that in the N64, and that was fun. I enjoyed that, so, I think there's some people that say that is one thing to come from the prequels that was actually good. It's not quite that bad. Well, I think it might be more so from the Phantom Menace. But at $2.50, alright, yeah, I'll pick that up. I think I normally see it like $5 for a discount. It's actually at $3.50 normally. The special discount brought it down to $2.50. But it's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. But the other two were, the game I actually talked about back when they first announced the Good Old Game tag, the Zeus Poseidon Acropolis game. That it's like, I remember playing that. I remember getting that from the library and playing it, but I could never remember what the game was. But it stuck in my memory as something I enjoyed. Yeah, true. I enjoyed it when I was a child, so I might not enjoy it anymore. But it's like, that's on sale as part of this. Well, that's undiscounted as part of the sale, so it's like, alright, you know what, I'll pick it up. And another game that... Man, that's... It's gonna be interesting when playing that one. It's called Descent, which some of you
worth every minute.
might know for one of two reasons. One is you're old enough to actually know what the game is. The other is you might know some video game history, because it is actually a historic video game. Seriously, it is. Because it is the first game that had full 6-axis control for flight. You basically, and yes, this sounds stupid, but you basically played as a spaceship in a mine. So you're going through tunnels and such, which, yeah, kind of stupid sounding. But you had full 6-axis control, so you could go forward, back, left, right, up, forward, back, left, right, up, down, but also rotate along all those axes as well. That's how it's 6. I'm pretty sure that's how you get control of 6. Yeah, it's up to 6. But, and it's, I can remember there's one spot, because I played at least part of the, okay, here. At least part of that game quite a bit. I think we may have only had a demo for it. But, it, there was one spot where you, like, go forward, and it's like, if you keep going around, if you go around the map in this, you know, always making right turns, if you go around to always making left turns, you actually won't find the exit. Because there's one spot where you actually need to look up and, you know, take this other path that way. And it's like, you wouldn't see this unless you specifically do that. So it's like, you know, that specific maneuver and that specific hiding spot for this path is something that, you know, you need that kind of motion control in, that kind of, well, not motion control, but that ability to move in along those 6 axes. It's like that, it's necessary for that. And there was no game before it that offered that. That was the first game. And it... Let me see, there's Descent, Descent 2, Descent 3, and I think Descent 3 was Descent 3 Free Space. And then the Free Space name continued on. I think that was it. And I don't remember if it actually connects into Everspace, which I think is another series of games, but I think there might be some relationship there, I just don't remember what it was. Sorry. And I have no idea when I would play Descent, but it's like, you know what? Sure, why not? What am I missing? I don't think there's anything more to blow up. That is one thing about knowing what it is you need to do for clearing some of these areas is annoying in this game, but also you don't know where the boundaries are for some of these locations either, which is annoying. I guess I can at least look over at this stuff.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Oh, me. There. Don't need that anymore. Oh, and you know, it just occurred to me, another game. Well, actually, I thought of it earlier, but then I forgot. But another thing to come from the prequel trilogy of Star Wars that has definitely been very positive and very good is the Lego video game. Because the first one of those was Lego Star Wars, which was the prequel trilogy. The original trilogy, Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy came second. And I don't know if they planned on doing the original trilogy always. Certainly some of the stuff with the Lego games has been that great. Like, I'm trying to remember, is it the Lego Hobbit or Lego Lord of the Rings? One of them, they actually never finished. I think it might actually be Lego Lord of the Rings, but like they released it in like, okay, let's say it's the Hobbit though. I don't even know if no, it shouldn't be the Hobbit because I don't have the Hobbit. I do have Lord of the Rings. Okay, so it was basically they released it with the first two movies, and the third was to come in an update, and the update never released. Yeah, very annoying. It happens. It sucks, but it does happen. And hopefully that's something that, they will basically never do again. And it is stupid that kind of design plan for a game. Was like, yeah, we're not going to release it with everything here. Because, like, it's not like a, it's like, oh, already planning for DLC before a game comes out. Okay, that's just normal. Seriously. I mean, obviously you're going to have ideas that are going to be beyond the scope of your current project. So you have to, wait for it to come later. It's like, I write a story. Sometimes I'm already thinking about, the sequel to the book before I've even reached you know, the final chapter. It's like I haven't written the end of this one, but I'm already figuring out what the next one. That's completely normal. So no, there's nothing wrong with,
Talk about ADD.
in my opinion, the, you know, working on thinking about the new future content for a game. Oh, there's pickup, but I got one helicopter on. But it's like, no. The Lord of the Rings, you need to cover all of it. Why did you decide, oh, well, we'll release it with part of it, and then just you'll get the rest of it later? It's like, who would think that's a good idea?
Don't take no passengers.
Chippewa, that's... Okay. But it's still, you know, the LEGO games in general are very good games. They're very fun. And they are one of those games, and there's several that are like this, that, well, game series, that you can just, you know, you have kids, you play games, you have kids, you want to introduce them to video games, what do you introduce them with? That can be a very solid series to look to. Because they are fun games, they're well-made, well-designed games, very enjoyable games, that are also going to be safe for kids. Because certainly some games are not that safe for kids. This one would be among them. I'm just thinking. What would I consider? See, it's hard to say because this one's so kind of wild. Was I already down on this level, or... Yeah, I must have been. Are they trying to shoot? I have no idea what they think they are doing. As I said, I prefer it. Yeah, and there are some games, like, I just don't know because of how expansive this one is. I don't know if I would necessarily think that this would be a good game to introduce anyone to gaming with. Minecraft can be good, but it depends, I think. Because it's one of those... Minecraft, I think, gets kind of boring on its own. But like modded Minecraft can be good. But then it's also, you have to be careful because you could overwhelm some people. Yeah, I mean, they're on Minecraft can definitely. And it doesn't help when sometimes mods are not that well documented, or at least the documentation is not that descriptive. Wow. The hell? That was odd. Okay. Alright. I think one game that I would go to... You know, it's hard to say. comparing, going to introduce somebody to games, other than modded Minecraft, Satisfactory would also work. Because it has some of that same elements to the design in that it is approachable, but it has greater depth to it than just Minecraft, because it's like, what do you do after you kill the dragon? Or do you even bother with going to the dragon? And it's also, though, although they may have changed it. It's been a while since I've really played through vanilla. But did they ever actually do anything so that you knew what to do? Because, like, why would you think to try to find a fortress to get to the end? Why would you think to build a doorway shape out of obsidian and then light it on fire to open a portal to the nether? I mean, it definitely had problems for a while in those ways, and I'm calling it a problem. Where it's like, why would you think to do these things to progress? How does any of that make sense? Whereas Satisfactory doesn't have that. It's all much better laid out, and it also has that depth of, you need to try to build out this, your factories here, get them to be more and more advanced so that you can, feed this unknown corporate beast that is Fix-It. So yeah, I mean, it is better in that regard. And as I said, more approachable, although there's certainly some things to it that's like, they could be better. Ow.
Too close for comfort.
But then it's also, still in early access. That game isn't out yet. They did share last week some information about what they're doing for Update 6, and that they wanted to be more focused on improving the exploration of the game. Which, yeah, there's some ways that's lacking, but it's still actually a fairly good experience. It'll definitely be nice if you can finally have, more than one piece of personal equipment equipped. Like, not, Blade Runners and a hover pack, or Blade Runners and a jetpack. Or a gas mask, and Blade Runners gas mask, and, I mean, just, that'll be nice. I mean, I've not modded the game, but that would be one of the mods I'd want. It'd be kind of like how, one of the mods I would just generically put into Minecraft would be, vein mining. It's just, you hold down a button while you mine something, then once it breaks, it actually breaks all of the same type of item there, so, like iron ore, you would just break all of that. I mean, and it still costs you the durability, it speeds things up for you. I think that's not inappropriate. It's certainly somewhat cheaty, but it isn't inappropriate. Yeah. Okay, yeah, there's almost certainly something here, right? There. What's another save game? Kids to the game. I mean, ones that can, because it's not just about what's a game that has content that's appropriate. Whoops, that's not good. Alright, the game crashed. It autosaves, so I probably didn't lose too much. How long have I been going? 50 minutes. That's long enough. But I'll just finish the point that it's not just about finding a game with content that's appropriate. It's also content that will engage. Because, like, the thing I was trying to get to with the modded Minecraft is that some of that stuff gets very complex. That basically you need to be an adult to, care. To go through some of that. Satisfactory at a point would also be like that. I could imagine that there's a lot of kids, unless they do get directly interested in the game, would never want to work towards nuclear. I've still not done that. But certainly plenty of other things in it, like, the first 2, 3 tiers, tier 4 probably as well. I could definitely see some of that, yeah, be approachable where it's like, I'm just having fun, not a, I love this game kind of thing. So that's also part of it. It's the content that is appropriate, that connects with, that entices them to keep playing. And some games offer that, some games don't. I should play that game again at some point. Hard Space Shipbreaker. That's actually also, that's a 6 Degrees of Freedom as well, like Descent is. The premise is you are a worker that takes apart your shipbreaker. You take old ships, you break them apart, salvage the pieces. Definitely some elements to that are like, it shouldn't be this way. That does make sense. Why would you do it that way? So it's a fun game. It's a pretty chill game though. But some elements of that, it gets boring. It can get boring at least, but that could be another game that would be good for kids. Actually, have they gotten multiplayer in that yet? That's something that they should get. I just don't remember if they have gotten it. But it multiplayer in that I could see parent and child doing together and having a lot of fun. I do not have a whole lot of games installed, do I? I mean, I both do and I don't. Well, I do have some, but it's like Serious Sam Fusion 2017. That's only there because I like doing testing in it. I also have Serious Sam Siberian Mayhem installed, and you know what? I'm going to uninstall that. I don't need that installed anymore. I know why it's installed. So maybe I shouldn't have, but I'm not going to do that anytime soon. It makes more sense on the test system, because that's a good game that I could use for like doing data analysis with variable rate shading. But the game was not that much fun. And I don't have it's the RX580 in the desktop, so it would be useless here. Dying Light 2, not for kids. Not even close. Splitgate? I don't know. No, it wouldn't be. Not unless you could control the lobby well enough. That could get a little complex. Multiplayer FPS, free multiplayer FPS, 4v4 squad basing kind of stuff, but with the added flavor to it of you can shoot portals onto certain surfaces and be able to go through, just for anyone who doesn't know what it is. That I could see being not what you'd want a kid to play, at least not initially, not early on. That there would be other games you'd want to look to first. But it's also, of course, that always comes down to, the parent and what they want the kid to play. What they want to introduce a child to. It's their child, after all. Alright, so, yeah. Gonna be stopping now. And, yeah, just see you next week.